So orthogonal unit vectors are, you've already studied that those are unit vectors in the positive x, y and z direction. So what is the unit vector in the positive x direction? That is I cap. Unit vector in the positive y direction, j cap, and unit vector in the positive z direction is k cap. If I ask you find I cap cross I cap, what is I cap, cross product of I cap cross I cap? So you will say magnitude of I sine theta. What is angle between I and I? 0. So sine 0. And unit vector perpendicular to I and I. So firstly sine 0 is 0. So this whole thing will reduce to 0. So vector I cap cross I cap is 0. Very important result, when you multiply a vector with itself using the cross product, the result is always 0. That means A cap cross A cap will be 0. B cap cross B cap will be 0. Okay, remember, because sine angle between both of them will be 0 and sine 0 is 0. Okay. Similarly, j cap cross j cap will be 0. K cap cross k cap will be 0. Right? Then what about I cap cross j cap? If I ask you, tell me what is the value of I cap cross j cap? You will say magnitude of I, magnitude of j, sine angle between I and j. What is the angle between I and j? That is 90 degree. Sine 90 and unit vector perpendicular to I as well as j, or perpendicular to the plane of I and j. So magnitude of I is 1, magnitude of j is 1, sine 90 is 1. Okay, so I cross j is 1, and what is the direction? Perpendicular to I and j. So I cross j, that means I cross j, from I to j, that is perpendicular to I and j, that is positive k. So positive z. So unit vector in the positive z direction is k cap. So we can write I cap cross j cap is equals to k cap. Oh, I j k. So I cap cross j cap is equals to k cap. Similarly, if I ask you to find j cap cross k cap, what will be j cross k? Again, magnitude of j k, that will be 1 into sine 90 will be 1. Unit vector perpendicular to j and k. So j cross k. Okay, see. This is y direction and perpendicular to this is the z direction. So j cross k. What is the direction? Positive x direction. So unit vector in the positive x direction is I cap. Okay, so we can write j cap cross k cap is equals to I cap. So I cross j is k, j cross k is I. Can you see? I cross j cross k. Similarly, k cross I. What will be? K cross k cap cross I cap. Again, k is here in the positive x direction, right? From k to, where you have to find? From k to x, positive x direction, k to x. What is the direction of the resultant? Positive y. What is the unit vector in the positive y direction? J cap. So k cross I is j cap. So it's pretty simple to remember. Write I, j, k. And when you go in the cyclic order, okay, right, go from, or you can write I, j, k. Okay, when you go in the clockwise order from I to j, the resultant will be k cap. J to k, the resultant will be I cap. See, I cross j is k cap. J cross K is I cap. K cross I is equals to J cap. So write I, J, K and then go in the clockwise direction. The resultant will be the next vector. Okay. Similarly, if I ask you to find J cross I, what will be J cross I? I cross J is K cap. So J cross I will be minus K cap. We started A cross B will be equals to minus of B cross A. Now you can see also J cross I. So where is J? J is here, okay, in the positive y direction, and I is here. So J cross I, from J to I, J cross I is in the negative z direction. So minus K cap. Unit vector in the negative z direction is minus K cap. Similarly, J cross K cap is I cap. K cap cross J cap will be minus I cap. K cross J. K is here and J is upwards. K cross J is minus x direction. K cross J minus x. So that is minus I cap. Right? So it is also pretty simple if you go in the anti-clockwise direction. See, from I, if you go to K, if you are going in the anti-clockwise direction, I cross K is minus J cap. I cross K is equals to minus J cap. K cross J, if you go in the opposite direction, K cross J will be equals to minus I cap. K cross J is minus I cap. J cross K is minus, I cross K is minus J cap. Okay? Right? So, if you go in the clockwise direction, you get the next vector with a positive sign. If you go in the anti-clockwise direction, you get the next vector with a negative sign. So, orthogonal unit vectors are easy to understand with the help of this diagram, and they will be very useful also. Right? For example, I give you 3 vectors. Let us say vector A is equals to 3i cap, vector B is equals to 5j cap, and vector C is equals to 2k cap. Okay? Give me the value of A cross B, B cross A, B cross A. Okay? Then B cross C and C cross B, C cross B. Okay? And A cross B, B cross C, C cross A and A cross C. Okay? Give me all these values. So, A cross B will be magnitude of A, magnitude of B, 3 into 5, I cross J. Okay? I cross J. Right? A and B have I and J. I cross J will be I cap, or let us use the diagram only. I, J, K. I cap cross J cap. We are going in the clockwise direction. So, the resultant will be K cap. So, 3 5s are 15 K cap, positive direction. What will be B cross A? B cross A will be magnitude of B, that is 5, magnitude of A 3 into J cross I. Right? B cross A, J cross I. So, J cross I, you are going in the anti-clockwise direction from J to I. Resultant will be minus K cap. So, that is minus 15 K cap. Okay? See, A cross B is equals to minus of B cross A. Right? Similarly, B cross C. What is B cross C? B cross C is magnitude of B 5, magnitude of C 2 into J cross K. Okay? So, J cross K is 5 2s are 10. J cross K, we are going in the clockwise direction, so that will be I cap, positive. And similarly, C cross B. C cross B will be equals to 2 into 5 into K cross J. So K cross J going in the anti-clockwise direction, so that will be minus I cap. So B cross C is opposite of C cross B. Similarly, when you have to find C cross A is C, that is 2 into 3, K cap cross I cap. This order is very, very important, girls. You cannot write I cross K for this. C cross A, so for C you have K cap, A you have I cap. So the order matters a lot. So 2 3s are 6, K cross I. So K cross I, you are going in the clockwise direction, that will be positive J cap. And similarly, A cross C will be equals to 3 into 2 I cap cross K cap. So that will be equals to minus 6 J cap. Right? Because we are going in the anti-clockwise direction. So this is how you can solve. You can multiply two vectors using the orthogonal unit vectors I, J, K. What if we have three vectors, multiplication of three vectors, then it will be a bit lengthy process. So that we will study in the next class. So please note down this and all the examples in your copies. Thank you. Hello students, in the previous class we studied dot product of two vectors when we multiply two vectors using dot product. Then how do we do that? That was, if you remember, A dot B was magnitude of A, magnitude of B and cos theta. Since dot product gives you a scalar quantity, that means if A dot B gives you C, then this C will be a scalar quantity. Okay, it will not be a vector quantity. So it will have only magnitude. And we studied the dot product, how to find the dot product, orthogonal unit vectors, how to apply the dot product on them, and we studied some numericals. So our topic for today is cross product or vector product. I already told you that under vector multiplication we have to study three types of multiplication. The first one was scalar into vector, which was an easy one. Second one was vector into vector, which gives you scalar product, which is called dot product or scalar product, which we studied in the last class. And the third one is when you multiply a vector with a vector and you get the result as a vector, which is called as a cross product. That means if you multiply two vectors A and B, and if the result is also a vector, the resultant is also a vector which has magnitude as well as direction, that means the vectors have been multiplied using the cross product, or this multiplication is called as a vector product or cross product. Okay. Now example, we've studied torque. Torque is, what is torque? Whenever, like for example, the handle of a cycle, okay, you know, this is the handle of a cycle, this is the center part. If to turn this bicycle, you have to apply one force in this direction and one force in this direction, right? Then only the handle of the cycle will turn and your cycle will turn. That means, what is that turning effect? That force is called as the torque, which creates a turning effect. Okay, turning effect force, and that force is the like two equal and opposite forces which are separated by a distance d. Okay, two equal and opposite forces. These will be two equal and opposite forces. One force is in this direction, one force in this direction, and they are separated by a perpendicular distance d. This kind of force is called as a torque. Okay, so torque is equals to either force into the perpendicular distance between them. So here the perpendicular distance is, or you can call it displacement also, force into displacement or the perpendicular distance between the two forces. So here force is also vector quantity, displacement is also vector quantity, and the resultant, which is the torque, is also vector quantity. It has magnitude as well as direction. So depending upon the force and the displacement, whether the turning effect is this way or this way, that is important. So force into displacement, this is a vector product which gives you the resultant as a vector only, right? So this was an example. Now, what is the formula for the cross product? If you have two vectors and if you take the cross product of the two vectors, this is vector A for example and this is vector B for example, and the angle between them is theta. Then when you multiply A and B using the cross product, the resultant is magnitude of A, magnitude of B and sine theta. Okay, now this will give you the magnitude of the resultant vector, but resultant is also going to be a vector, so it should also have a direction. So this is magnitude multiplied by n cap. What is n cap? A unit vector in the direction of the resultant. What will be the direction of the resultant? Remember this, and this is very important, girls. Throughout your 11th and 12th, you will be requiring in many different ways in all the chapters, there will be use of this cross product. So please remember this. Whenever you multiply two vectors using the cross product, the resultant we find using the right hand palm rule. Okay. So what does the right hand palm rule say? That if you want to multiply A with B, that means how do we read this? A cross B. So stretch your fingers of the right hand in the direction of A and curl them towards B. Okay, A, I am stretching the fingers of my right hand in the direction of A, and from A to B, A cross B. So A to B, when I curl the fingers of the right hand, where does my thumb point? It is perpendicular and going inwards. I am drawing this way. Okay, it is like this. If A and B are like this, the perpendicular vector n cap of the resultant will be going inwards inside the plane. It is like if you take this x, y and z axis for example. Okay, and for example vector A is in the direction of y and vector B is in the direction of x. Okay, so how do we find the magnitude? Magnitude of A, magnitude of B, sine of 90 degree between them, and direction will be A from A. So A is in this direction, positive y direction, from A to B. So where is your thumb going? It is going inwards. Inwards, that means in the negative z direction. Okay, so this is the negative z direction. Remember, whenever we take the cross product, the resultant will always be perpendicular to both the multiplied vectors. That means if A cross B is giving you vector C, then this vector C will be perpendicular to A and C will be perpendicular to B as well. This is very important for you to remember. Okay, so vector C will be, the resultant will be perpendicular to both these vectors. One more thing we studied, that two vectors always lie in a plane. Okay, so if we are multiplying these two vectors A and B, then we can consider the plane in which these two vectors are lying, because these are two vectors, so there will be definitely a plane in which both the vectors will be lying. So like for example, I am taking A cross B in the plane of this board. Let us say A and B both lie in the plane of this board. Then the resultant will be perpendicular to the plane, because A and B are in the plane, so resultant will be perpendicular. Now see, this is the board. Perpendicular to the board can be this way. This is the board, I am drawing a small board for example. Perpendicular to this board is like this. Okay, this marker is perpendicular to the board. And if I take the other way, like this, obviously the board is in front for example, and like this if I take, okay, this is also perpendicular. Can you see? If the board would have been like this is also perpendicular, and the other way is also perpendicular to the plane. Okay, so there will be two directions in which they can be a perpendicular to the plane or perpendicular to both the vectors. So how do we decide which is the correct direction of the resultant? So for that we have to use the right hand palm rule. If you have to find A cross B, then open your fingers in the direction of A, then go to B. Curl your fingers from A to B. Where it is pointing? In the inside direction. Okay. Now for example, if I ask you find B cross A, B cross A for the same question, then B and A again are lying in the same plane. Let us look at the direction of B cross A. See, open your fingers in the direction of B and curl them towards A. Where is the thumb pointing? Outwards. So this A cross B is inwards, and we've learned this in class 10. How do we show any vector pointing inwards? With a cross. Okay, and B cross A is pointing outwards. Okay, so B cross A is vector C, which is pointing outwards. How do we show outwards? Any vector coming outwards? With a dot. Okay, so see here A cross B is C cap, but the direction is inverse, and here B cross A is also C cap, but the direction is outwards. So direction is different, that means both the vectors are different, right? That means we can say A cross B is not equal to B cross A. Remember, that means cross product is not commutative. Cross product is not commutative. What was commutative? Dot product was commutative. Remember, we proved that A dot B is equals to B dot A. Okay, dot product is commutative, but cross product is not commutative because the direction in both the cases is different. Okay, so this is about the cross product, and what you have to remember that the cross product of two vectors is a vector which will have magnitude A B sine theta, and the direction will be perpendicular to the plane in which both the vectors lie. If both my vectors lie, for example, my two vectors are lying in the plane of the hand, then the resultant will be perpendicular this way or this way. How to find this is correct or this is correct? Use right hand palm rule. If the two vectors are like this, see, I am drawing the two vectors like this. This is A and this is B, for example. If I want to find A cross B, then A is like this and B is like this. So A cross B is upwards. So the resultant is like this, perpendicular to the plane of the hand, upwards. Similarly, if I find B cross A, then B is like this and A is towards A. So where is my thumb pointing? Downwards. So perpendicular to the hand, perpendicular to the plane, which will be the direction now? Downwards. Right? I hope you must have got this. Okay. So let us take an example. For example, if I give you vector A is equals to 5 I cap and vector B is equals to 3 j cap, for example. Okay. 5 I cap and 3 j cap. See, so here what will be A cross B? That will be magnitude of A and magnitude of B and sine theta. Now what is I cap and j cap? They are giving the directions of the two vectors. We have studied orthogonal unit vectors. So x, y, z. A unit vector in the direction of x is I cap, unit vector in the positive y direction is j cap, unit vector in the positive z direction is k cap. So we have vector A, that means is in the positive x direction because it is I cap, and vector B is in the positive y direction because it is having direction unit vector j cap. So what will be A cross B? That will be magnitude of A, that is 5, magnitude of B, that is 3, sine, what is angle between I cap and j cap? 90 degree. Okay, and what will be the direction? This will give you the magnitude. What is the direction? The direction will be perpendicular to the plane in which A and B are lying. So A cross B, direction is positive z. So positive z direction, you have unit vector in the positive z direction is k cap, right? So A cross B will be equals to 5 3s are 15, sine 90. What is sine 90? 1. So that is 1 into k cap. So A cross B is 15 k cap. Magnitude of resultant is 15, and what is the direction? It is the positive z direction. What if I tell you to find B cross A for the same question? Now B cross A will be B, magnitude of B, magnitude of A, sine theta, that is angle between A and B, and unit vector in the direction of the resultant. So magnitude of B is 3, magnitude of A is 5, sine 90 is 1, and n cap, that is unit vector in the direction of the resultant. Where will be the resultant? Perpendicular to the plane in which B and A lie. So how to find the direction? From B to A. B cross A, no? So from B to A. What is the direction? Inwards, that is minus z direction. So you can write minus k cap is the unit vector in the direction of the resultant. So that will be minus 15 k cap. Okay. B cross A is equals to minus 15 k cap. See, A cross B was 15 k cap. B cross A is minus 15 k cap. So what do we infer from this? That A cross B is not equal to B cross A, but it is equals to minus of B cross A. Right? A cross B is 15 k cap, B cross A is minus 15 k cap. So we can write A cross B is equals to minus of B cross A. Right? Then we can study orthogonal unit vectors.